very good morning and good evening to everyone who have joined from all across the globe. Welcome to day 7 of My Time Infinity. So beautiful to see everyone joining despite being on a Monday. Monday mornings, we all understand it's a busy schedule for everyone, school and work, and giving that time for ourselves, for that My Time. I really appreciate everyone who is joining, and a few more are yet to join. Great, let's start. So today we have an amazing person to host this program. She is none other than Lavanya Vishwanath, originally from Andhra Pradesh, India, and is currently residing in Australia. Hi, Lavanya, good morning.
Hi, Surin, good morning.
Great. So Lavanya has been meditating since 2003. That's something more than 20 years. So we've got a great experienced meditator today who is going to be hosting Dr. GK for this program. Great. So let's start with meditation. Let's start the program with 40 minutes meditation and then followed by the wisdom sharing. We all know the procedure. Gather yourself, sit comfortably in a room or outside. Take time to settle down. For beginners, if you are sitting on a chair or a sofa, you may cross your feet. It can be left on right or right on left, whichever. Or if you're sitting on the floor, you can just sit comfortably the way we usually sit to eat food. Please take support of your back if required. Clasp your fingers like this and place them on your lap. Do not close your eyes yet. Pay attention to everything that is there outside. The atmosphere, it may be hot or cold. The room, the sounds that are coming. Everything is perfect. Absolutely no problem. If at all you're wearing a spectacles, please remove them. We don't need a spectacle while meditating. Now, bring your attention to yourself, to your body, and close your eyes. Be aware of your body. You sitting comfortably, make adjustments if needed. The most fundamental thing while sitting to meditate is ensure you are at absolute ease. Your body is absolutely comfortable. Scan your body from head to toe. How is your forehead? Is it strained? Eyebrows? Loosen them a bit. Your chin, lips. Are you biting hard with the teeth? Just drop your jaw a little bit. Let the whole face be relaxed completely. How is your neck and shoulders? Are they stiff? Loosen it a little bit. Drop your shoulders. Scan your arms. And your fingers, are they tightly? Are you holding it tightly? Loosen it a little bit. Let it be relaxed. Your upper body, upper back, lower back, thigh muscles and calf muscles, are they all loosened? The feet, ankle, body is now completely relaxed. Now take a couple of deep breaths just to catch hold of the breath. Breathe naturally. Do not alter your breath at this moment. Slowly bring your attention to your breath. You can feel your breath on your nostrils or your abdomen, throat, wherever you feel like. Now, bring your attention from your body to your breath. Pay attention to your ingoing, beautiful breath and the outgoing breath. Be with your breath. This meditation is called Ana-Pana-Sati Meditation. Ana means ingoing breath. Apana is outgoing breath. Sati means just being with the breath. Now that your body is relaxed and you're with your breath, there's only one hurdle, and that's your thought. Thoughts may come, that's absolutely fine, but all we need to do is be aware of your breath. Disengage from these thoughts and come back to your breath. Observe. Need not even concentrate. Just observe in complete neutrality. As much as possible, observe each and every breath. You may hear sounds from your surroundings, which may be pleasant or unpleasant. Both are fine. Do not pay attention to it. Come back to your breath each and every time. Play music, but we're not here to enjoy the music. We're here to be with our breath. Wonderful. Let's meditate for 40 minutes. Slowly bring your attention back to your body. Just feel the body. Bring your attention and awareness to your body. Slowly, you may unclasp your fingers and place them on your eyes for about 5 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Be comfortable. Take some time. Slowly open your eyes as per your comfort. And give a big smile to yourself. Wonderful. So we meditated on yet another day, on a My Time day. Great. Yes, you can take some time to settle down. Wonderful. Thank you so very much, friends, for coming online and meditating and taking part of this My Time program. This My Time program is co-organized by IFSS, that is International Federation of Spiritual Scientists, and PSSM Global. So today we have a wonderful speaker, Dr. GK, who has joined. Can you guess what is the time at this moment? It's around 2 a.m. So he has joined at this VR and really appreciate accepting our invite. And I now hand it over to Lavanya from Australia, who has been meditating from more than 20 years now. So our host is Lavanya. Over to you, Lavanya.
Thank you, Sunil. Thank you, sir. It was a wonderful meditation. Hello, sir. It's a good, I know it's late for you and it's morning now. So good morning, sir. Thank you for joining us even at this time. So let me just quickly give an introduction about you, sir. So Dr. Gopala Krishna, sir, is a well-renowned person in Pyramid Spiritual Society movement. He's known as GK. So for new masters who are joining today on Zoom or YouTube, so here is a little intro. Dr. Gopala Krishna, sir, is a medical doctor who started his journey of spiritual science in search of happiness and the truth under the guidance of Brahmarshi Subhash Patriji and specially trained by Grandmaster Paul Vijay Kumar. In this journey, he got enlightened and realized that spiritual intellect is the root, physical health is the fruit. He started sharing the same with his patients who approached him for medical treatment. As a part of this, he established spiritual health care centers and maintained them for 10 years in different parts of India, also offered esteemed spiritual services as an ancillary to qualified treatment with the help of senior masters who are trained by him. Eventually, he strongly advocated the realization of holistic health through meditation in addition to medication. With this, I would like to warmly welcome to you, sir. Over to you, sir. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you very much for introducing me. Lavanya Garu from Australia. And then thank you, Sunil, for taking part of taking forward the IFSS movement with the help of Global. And I used to attend Global Congress programs in Bangalore. More than 8 global congresses I attended, and where eminent spiritual scientists from across the globe used to gather, and then they used to give their great presentations. So, and thank you for meditation as well. Shall I start my presentation?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Okay.
Yeah.
So today I would like to give a brief introduction, the way how we started giving the wisdom solutions in the name of spiritual tablets. The background for this entire work started when I'm a young meditator after completing my medical degree and the basics of PSSM, meditation, sharing of experiences, and reading spiritual books part for a period of 3 years, and then my medical degree, and then I came to my native place, Visakhapatnam, South India. So there, I started getting different types of dreams, a series of dreams and coincidences, and people approaching me for their illness to get some permanent cure, assuming that I am a medical doctor and a meditator too. But in reality, I am like everyone who did a couple of hours intense meditation and then got different experiences and got my own answers to go forward for the health, happiness, and memory, concentration, etc. Beyond that, I don't have much information with me. When these experiences started, then I started observing those things and trying to relate with the different wisdom bullets that used to download. Of course, some of them I took from Brahmarshi Patriji straight away. And then for that, a set of additional components added, and slowly it started developing as a wonderful science. There's a lot of confusion in the beginning days, but still I continued, sometimes because of my interest, sometimes because of the PGs, patient God, uh, approaching me to gain health. Sometimes I used to stop entire thing, but again nature used to push me in a punishment mode. Hey, this is your job. You have to go through this. That is the most appealing one for me, which used to happen quite often. And finally, I landed at developing these wisdom capsules, categorizing particularly to a disease in its own way. And then additional background information is like when I met Patriji and in Kernel, I used to see the word meditation gives wisdom and wisdom gives liberation. So he has not written meditation gives liberation. There is a word between wisdom. So that used to attract me a lot. What kind of wisdom we get and how it will liberate us from. Here the liberation means starting from the ill health to the body, the salvation, or what do you call nirvana, mukti. Maybe nature, I am fortunate that nature has chosen me to work on the second phase, where already people will do meditation, but based on the information they got, how they can cure their illnesses. So that area, maybe nature made me to learn. So that interest and the nature guidance finally made me to develop this. Of course, initially a series of spiritual healthcare centers, and then followed by an admission hospital with all the meditation setup. That made me to understand the wisdom capsules are absolutely working on an illness. If at all we are a failure in giving solutions for an illness, it is only because the people may not following the entire wisdom that we are giving, or it may be because lately they might have approached us in taking the proper solution. There is a time factor which I need to accept. And so these are the only two areas where I used to apply and understand in understanding the result. Initially, when we started this meditation health clinic in 2003, I'm not in a position to tell any patient God who is approaching us. If they ask a question, how many days it will take, there is no answer with us. But after working on around 1200 cases, out of 80% cases were more than 90% successful. Most of them are, of course, chronic illness cases, because I am operating with a spiritual healthcare center, which is like morning I will open and the night I will have to shut down the center. Later, I took a 25-bedded rural hospital where the top floor is entirely for this kind of research, I need to say. There I used to admit even the serious illness cases. Apart from the medical support, the best medical support is a conservative management, which we are supposed to give, an intense meditation workout, and then wisdom counseling used to happen. So put together this admission research as well as outpatient OP research that led me to develop this wisdom in a systematic way. Among the 500 plus spiritual tablets we developed, today we are trying to understand the pyramid spiritual health care. The initial part of the data, I can say, how we are approaching, how it is working in those areas I would like to narrate in this session. In future, if they allow me, then I may go through in-depth topics to address a particular illness, or giving some tips in general to identify the root cause of the illness, etc. A series of sessions I can conduct. So coming forward to pyramid spiritual health care, here we need to understand the body and mind are dependent on intellect and soul. So through meditation, we can give a complete well-being, which involves physical, mental, social, and spiritual planes. When you talk about a specific treatment method, either they may cover only the physical body, at most the mental body, but they may not touch the spiritual intellect and soul planes. So in this presentation, we try to understand what is exactly the health science and the difference between the existing versus the true, and what is the true story of the health and some of the soul scanning tools that we are using to identify the illness, spiritual reason, and then diagnosis in a spiritual manner, and then solution, the conclusion. So as everyone knows, health is wealth. So we need to understand that real wealth is nothing but the physical, mental, and social health. So it all starts with a hope. Without having a hope, we cannot give them a complete health. Here, why I am saying is, when they refer to any existing medical systems, according to its own limitations, they will say, these are the probabilities, these are the chances, and it is impossible. And here we don't know the reason. So when there is a such kind of closed answer, then they lose the hope. But here, it starts with the hope, because the first core belief, the thought that I am going to live, or I am going to cure this, or I am going to attain complete health from this muddy areas. So it should start with that hope. And then, and pranams to Brahmarshi Patriji, a spiritual doctor, I can say. And apart from Patriji, more than 300 qualified doctors, they did an extensive job, like Dr. Newton, Dr. Yoganda, and so many medical doctors used to meditate and then used to follow Patriji to understand the spiritual science. I am one among them. And thousands of meditation centers we have started, and a lot of senior permanent masters, they involved in this to understand and to create this entire wisdom. So we need to know health means it is not a simple absence of sickness in the body. Rather, it is the sum total of mental, physical, and social well-being, according to the World Health Organization. So if we see, there are so many existing systems like allopathy, homeopathy, Ayurveda, Unani, Reiki. So all these systems work at their own understanding levels, but a true health system will work in soul and intellectual plane, because that is the primordial, according to all the Vedic scriptures or whatever you take. So they all say that the soul and spiritual intellect is the primordial thing. So here, if you see a shadow of the building, a hut, the hut is the proper thing, the original or the source, and the shadow is there on the water. These two things we appreciate. If you want to bring any change in the shadow that is there in the water, we need to work on the building proper. If you go into the water and if you disturb it, momentarily you may not see that shadow. But the moment you leave the water, once it is standstill, again the shadow will appear according to the original source. Mean to say, the intellect and soul are the primary things. The body and mind is a just shadow for that. Whatever we are appreciating like a disease, the body, in the mind, and in the social environment in the form of financial problems or relationship breakages, it's all because of the source, that is lack of wisdom in the spiritual intellect. Similarly, the picture that we are projecting on a screen, if you turn the screen, still the picture is the same. Until and unless you change something in the film, you cannot change the picture. And if we imagine ourselves as a pot, the base of the pot is nothing but the spiritual science. Without that, it is almost useless. So all these examples are trying to give us a note that the spiritual science is a core through which we can understand that the internal core wisdom is influencing the mind, whether to control a particular thought or not, So the mental plane will be influenced by the spiritual intellectual plane. In the mental plane, the mind waves are good, the body waves are bound to be perfect, according to Linda Goodman. So here we are trying to attach the spiritual torchlight to all the existing health systems. We are not denying our, against for the existing systems. They are good in their own way. For example, if you take allopathy, for most of the emergencies, it is the best first line of treatment. So here we are trying to add the meditation and the spiritual science as a torchlight. So before understanding, we need to understand the true story of the ill health. To understand that a little bit spiritual pathology, most of the people here, you may know about it. I'm just trying to give an overview to understand that. So we are nothing but the energy, consciousness, and wisdom units. And then we can understand ourselves in a way, the 7 layers, the physical body, Annamaya Kosha, Pranamaya Kosha, and astral body, Manomaya Kosha, spiritual body, Vijnanamaya Kosha, and then casual, supra-casual, and nirvanic bodies, Anandamaya, Vishwamaya, and Nirvanamaya. So these are the 7 layer structure we are operating. So whenever we say that a simple headache to cancer, it may be started somewhere in 5, 6, 7 planes, and then that will automatically change the Vijnanamaya Kosha, the spiritual body, and in turn, the mental body. Thoughts will change. Accordingly, the energy body will behave. And based on that, a blockage we see on the physical system in the form of illness. So we need to understand the illness from the root level, that 5, 6, 7. And in another way, when we say I am, so the body has its own I, the mind, intellect, and soul. These are the 4 planes. And coming to the social environment, we identify ourselves as the desire, karma, and artha, meaning of life, and then dharma, the truth, the absolute truth, and then moksha, the liberation. So these 4 areas, if we understand well, then we realize where exactly we are operating. So here, any misconception in the above said areas will automatically cause an energy deficit, because our thought pattern is below the God level or below the true potential. Then automatically that will create a repetitive failure thoughts, or whether you call it as inferiority complex or fear or 6 passions, any type of unwanted things will appear, and then that disruption in the thought will automatically create an energy deficit, energy block in the energy system, and that in turn will become a susceptible zone for bacteria, virus, or tumor growth, or even an accident. Any injury on the body, it looks like an accident, but nothing is by chance, it is by choice, based on our past, present, and future. So that is nothing but the disease on the physical body. And whenever there is a disease, again, we are in a low energy zone. It's a vicious loop where we keep on until we leave the body. It keeps on increasing in its own alarms. So here, illness is not exactly a problem. It is simply a part of the feedback system pointing out the real problem. So whatever we are seeing, a disease on the physical body, in fact, it is like an iceberg phenomena, the tip we are seeing, but behind that, there is a reason, there is a purpose pointing out towards our true purpose of the life. So here, when we meditate with our energy, or whatever the energy that we contain, so slowly it will pierce through these thoughts and feelings, and then which are going to shape our different attitudes that we maintain. So the investigatory methods that we are using today, like the blood workouts, X-ray scannings and all, majority of them will work in the body and at most a mind level. But as I said earlier, we are existing different levels until supra-casual body. We need to extend our investigatory methods to understand the illness. So here the soul scanning tools means what are all the different experiences that we consider in understanding the true reason behind the illness. So this we have developed as a 7 types of experiences pocketbook, with which a meditator, after going through intense meditation workout, what are the different energy manifestations that are occurring, that we take it into account, and then we try to understand the true reason behind the illness. So these are like meditation experiences, different dreams that we get, and coincidences, day-to-day coincidences. Some people will get the inner voice, and one may have a in-person guidance from a master who gives a straightforward message to implement in day-to-day life. And then if they are voracious book readers, through books, they may gain a lot of wisdom. In the same book, when different people read, everybody will grasp a different set of things in the books. It's all because people operate according to their consciousness level. So exactly whatever the solution they need, that only they attract from that particular book. And a same person reading the same book in different times will understand it in a different way. So that is how, and finally the day-to-day analysis that we do, culminating all these things. And here the diseased part itself is one of the important tool, because based on the disease location and the intensity, we can understand certain things as the body part will teach us why that particular alarm came on the body and mind. So a few things I would like to expand here in a minute. When we say the meditation experience, what are the color that is in the background, or the vision that is there, and then what whomsoever they visualize, the spiritual masters that are coming and try to give some messages, and different types of animate, inanimate objects, animal symbolisms, are objects that come, and sometimes people will get scrolling messages, and some of the past life visions or future projections that we come across in meditation through as a third experience. And coming to the dreams, there is an extensive research was done in the last 25 years from the Spiritual Tablets Foundation as a health wing of PSSM, where the dreams can be categorized into a pitfall dreams and prediction dreams and a bijunctional dreams, because we are deep-rooted into materialism, every day it becomes a challenge either to follow the spiritual guidance or do we need to go through the material common sense. So in those wise junctions, a beautiful guidance we get through the dreams once we tune to it. And then, of course, the milestones dreams where a similar dream will repeat in different times of life. If you say some people will get writing an exam where they will don't find the hall ticket or they're unable to appear the exam properly. So the same exam dream will come in a different patterns. And similarly, going uphill and then coming, out of it. So the entire process may appear in different ways, negatively, positively. So these are the milestone dreams are trying to guide us go through a long journey of life. And then coming to the dissolve feelings that we get in day-to-day life and different two-dimensional objects, they repeat in a coincidental way. And a right person will appear in right time and we get a lot of information from them. And at times, the universal program will take a priority than the individual targets that we take. So those kind of situations itself, we can understand that we are not in proper alignment, and then that will teach us a great wisdom to align ourselves with the totality. So based on these different types of experiences, we understand that that particular person is lacking in identifying his purpose of life, understanding his power, or he may stuck with certain types of ego layers or the spiritual laziness. Maybe a 6 passions like greed, lust, anger, there he may stuck. So these are all different areas where we realize, we identify the true reason for the illness in spiritual intellectual plane. So here we have to understand that the spiritual intellect is the root and physical health is the fruit. So to work on spiritual intellect, to give them a complete clean body and mind and environment, we advise them different spiritual concepts, the 12 basic spiritual tablets, and then combination of 2 spiritual tablets like dynamic, static, on screen, behind the screen. And, these are all 2 different quite opposite things. And combination of 3s, like purpose of life means you can say the 3 components we consider duties of the body, duties of family, and duties of the soul. 3 types of happinesses, 3 reasons for a particular illness, like that 3 sets of things. And similarly, combination of 4, 5, 6, 7, up to 10. So this will cover a lot of spiritual wisdom bullets. And then different objects that we come across in day-to-day, because each and every object, initially it started as a thought, the thought has manifested as a physical object. So all the objects that we use in day-to-day life, usually people will get different types of dreams, like they miss their train, or their flight travel may be in a pathetic way, or it can be a positive way, of course, both the ways. So any objects that we get in the dream, so they depict a particular meaning once we try to understand it. A simple tip for the audience, like any object when you get in dream, try to Google it. What this particular object says spiritually in a symbolical way. If you Google it, there are huge number of people worked in a brilliant way, and immediately it will give a instantaneous tip. If you come across an animal, every animal is a totem which is trying to give us a deeper meaning to understand a particular set of qualities. The same thing you can get in Google as well. So that will create initially a interest for you to decode the nature, how it is trying to speak to us to understand about our internal realms. So finally, the body part, as I said, any illnesses related to hand, it's all about understanding about give and take. Any illness related to the legs, it's all about understanding how we are walking in our path as an individual. So the individuality quality we understand. And the diseases related to this anahata zone is understanding about Vayu Tattva, the wind element. So like the body parts, and behind that there is a chakra system, the energy center, and every energy center has got its own, knowledge. So once we apply that knowledge, we can be out of that wisdom. So among those, the 12 basic spiritual tablets, like for the beginners, as an energy amplification, intense individual meditation starting from 10 minutes intermittently to hours together, they meditate. They need to meditate individual meditation and pyramid meditation, which acts as an amplifier to grab more and more cosmic energy. So we used to keep pyramids on the bed, in the hospital bed, where 24/7 they will be exposed to that pyramid energy, which is the amplification factor to gain complete health. And then, of course, the group meditation sessions that we conduct will give a 3 times better energy field. And during full moon days, one can understand the reason behind the illness. And of course, the plant-based diet and optimal diet and silence. The rest of the 6, once they work on the first 6 wisdom bullets, then slowly they will turn into the other 6, which are meant for grabbing the wisdom, sharing of spiritual experiences to other colleagues, and the reading spiritual books. So the major area in the spiritual counseling, we try to advise them different spiritual books to read, where they will understand the truth behind, from that master's great work. That will automatically change their unscientific beliefs, and there will be a free flow of thought with complete scientific belief system, and which in turn cleans the energy blocks and then, of course, the illness. So health science classes, like we are in a health science class now, where we need to understand the health science through the spiritual means. And of course, the spiritual life health counseling, which we have developed in a great manner. In Zoom breakout rooms, we are able to give brilliant solutions every day, every hour, somewhere or other, in a language. So many languages we are operating across 14 countries now. More than 400 counselors, tirelessly they are working on illness to give a brilliant solutions through the wisdom bullets. And of course, the living in nature and practice in silence. And finally, the spiritual science service. If you give, you will get principle. So these 12 basic spiritual concepts will set the basics. So usually we take minimum 3 months time to set with these basics if they are new meditators. But as of now, most of the cases, more than 80% of the individuals who are approaching us, already they might have completed the energy amplification area, and then now they want to work from wisdom to liberation area, and then that is where really we are able to, give a proper guidance. So here, in just few minutes, I'm going to conclude with some of the examples, how beautifully these things will align like an orchestra. When you play an instrument separately, it has its own individual flavor. But a group of instruments put together, they will give, the real symphony, the real melody of the music. So similarly here, when you take a low backache as a disease, as a complaint, we elicit some signs and signals, and then with investigations, we come to know there is a problem and based on the chakra, of course, the spine, where they are complaining. The low back pain. So here, physically it is a disease, but in the intellectual level, it's all about a lack of individuality, and there is a mismatch with the hard work that they are doing, and there is a lack of constant learning attitude, and they are supposed to accept the opportunities that they are getting in all the directions, like the roots of a tree, and of course the stability factor which they are supposed to attain. So these are the key areas. That is why, that is how the reminder on the body is a low back pain. So God of small things to identify, even though the PC is not telling anything about him, but the experiences they get related to the cycle, a symbol of hard work, and the two-wheeler, a symbol of individuality, and the shoes and slippers that they get in the dreams, a major factor in the community, in understanding how best they are walking in the community, and the lower part of the dress, and then where exactly they are sitting in the office or home, the chair, the position where they sit. So these are some of the objects that we observe, and the patterns of these objects automatically give us how they are, thinking, and what are all the intellectual areas they are lacking. So once we set the intellectual areas, which I said in the previous slide, as the individuality factor, hard work factor, then sooner or later, permanently, the disease can be cured here. Almost 16, 17 years ago, my own sister, she got a severe low back pain. We approached the neurosurgeon, and then he made an MRI, and he said within 1 week she has to be operated. She has an intense pain. She is unable to come out of the clinic with an unbearable pain. Immediately he said that she has to be operated. The disc is so worse, the discectomy, the disc has to be removed. And then my sister, already she's a meditator and she believes me. She said, I don't want to be operated on my body. Okay. So you just take a 3 weeks of bed rest. As long as you're on bed rest, nothing is going to happen for you because there is no further compression. You are taking rest. So she was on bed rest for 3 weeks, and intensely we are counseling her, all the experiences she is getting, every experience I am trying to decode. And she started working on her past beliefs, unscientific beliefs, and understanding the power that she hold. All these areas we worked for 3 weeks. And exactly on the 21 day, she got a astral surgery done on her low back. Masters came, helping hands came, and they tried to press on the low back area. And that astral surgery happened for 3 days consecutively in the same time, afternoon, 2 to 3 o'clock. And because she is out of the bed and all the pain was completely gone by that time. On the third day, actually, she was in a film theater watching a movie in a matinee show. Suddenly, something started on the low back, like something is pressing, and then she recollected the previous 2 days also happened the same. Maybe surgery is going on, and immediately she closed her eyes and she went into meditation. Those 3 days of astral surgery, and until till today, touch wood, she doesn't have any pain or problem. She travels a lot in the bus for 18 hours. Usually, according to the medical system, if there is a disc problem, it is bound to again repeat. Again and again, people will suffer with low back pain until and unless they work on the root chakra properly, permanently. They have to expand it and they have to ascend to the higher chakras. Once the chakra is set, then the disc automatically will heal itself, and then they are bound to get a normal low back. So to understand, it may look like complicated, but thousands of cases we have. In the initial part of 2.5 years journey, I able to see the success in 110 low back pain cases. Out of that, 60 people were bound to go for surgery. So that is the track record in the year 2005 to 2008. So similarly, the shoulder to hand, the give and take, shifting from Karma Yoga to Jnana Yoga, that is material and monetary services to knowledge services, the extension of give and take, and the direction how we are giving and what we are taking, in which direction we are receiving something, and then the artistic way of giving something, and then of course the ego factors. So these are the ones that will cause the shoulder to hand, usually the frozen shoulders, etc. And of course the objects, God of small things like hand buttons, upper part of the dress, big spoon that we use in day-to-day life, the checkbook, the financial factors, and all the electrical based things that we use in the home. So these are all directly or indirectly related to, as a soul science, we can understand as a scanning part, the root cause of the illness in spiritual planes. So similarly, constipation to colon cancer, understanding the Arshad Varga part, desire, anger, miserliness, pride, jealousy, and lust, and daily program, and the major mistakes that do. So the washroom, commode, toilet mechanism, and the different fecal matter dreams that they get. So these are all the different two-dimensional objects that we understand it. So with this, I conclude, one can become a doctor for themselves. There is no need to depend on any external pill or external things. If one can meditate, and if they are full of energy, the energy will slowly manifest into spiritual experience. And the nature always try to convey us how to walk in our path, the pre-birth plan. According to our pre-birth plan, one can realize their purpose, and then they can walk exactly on the plan they took. When we are aligned with the universe and in our purpose, then there are no more reminders on our body in the form of a disease. So whatever we are, thinking that we know, it is only a drop in the ocean of knowledge. So every day we need to learn new things. For a constant learner, a seeker, there won't be any stagnation. Stagnation is nothing but the disease. So by traveling with Patriji for a period of 3 years in the initial days, I used to see a lot of PGs. We call them as PG, means patient God. We never call them as patient, because they are the God in the form of, limited layers caused them the disease. So they used to be cured. Everyone say, I went to PSSM, I followed the meditation, I followed Patriji. So that really made me to work intensely to understand these principles. And it's a very big research for a period of 6 years. When I got my conclusion in Andaman, and then I came back to India, and then I started my project, Meditation Health Clinic. And I'm happy, and my pranams to the Pyramid Society movement. I'm part of it, of course. They gave me a certificate to work on this spiritual healthcare centers project. And that ardent struggle with most of the masters today, we were able to establish thousands of spiritual healthcare centers, and able to give solutions through spiritual wisdom bullets. And people who want to work in the spiritual health grounds, they can learn the spiritual wisdom capsules in 2-3 levels. And by online and offline, we are conducting the spiritual tablets workshops. And once they understand the wisdom, and they need to write a little exams are also there. And after that, practically, they will be placed in understanding this wisdom. So once they complete the theory and practical, then they can work as a spiritual doctor in giving brilliant spiritual solutions. So here, the spiritual tablets system, initially, I want to go with the word spiritual health. Patriji, he himself tried to improvise that word. We came with the word Dhyana Vaidyam. Vaidya means it is a limited area. So then we turned into Dhyana Arogyam. And after that, spiritual healthcare centers. And then one fine day, nature guided me to go with this word spiritual tablet, which stopped the people, and they stop and think, oh, what is this tablet, spiritual tablet, new tablet? So it's a fascinating word to catch hold of some more, prey into this loop. And ultimately, it's only a wisdom bullet in the rural areas. When I conduct these one-day workshops, morning 10 o'clock to 5 o'clock, with a great enthusiasm, I will try to give different wisdom bullets. After completion of the workshop, when I'm leaving the premises, a senior citizen in the last bench will sit, and he will ask me, Dr. Saab, you said you are going to give me some tablets. Give me tablets, I'll go home because I have sickness. So that is the pathologic situation will appear sometimes for me, but still I continued walking in this path, and then today, brilliantly, I am able to give solutions. And whatever I desired in my childhood, when I am into 5th standard or, until 10th standard, where I didn't even know about medical system, I used to think very passionately, there should be only one tablet from headache to cancer, should cover all the illnesses and with a zero cost. And today I landed in, there is only one tablet meditation, which is applicable for headache to cancer. And then, zero money, without even a single rupee, if someone work on it and they can achieve it. Of course, in developed countries, now we are trying to charge for this. That is how the developed countries will go. All the spiritual tablet services are chargeable in developed countries. And in developing countries, this money will flow there, and we try to pull those people with the donation mode we are operating. And there are around 8 to 10 NGO bodies are working under the spiritual tablets umbrella to reach out people to give these eminent services. And I am very happy with the PSSM Global taking a great role in, bringing all the organizations and approaches of PSSM under one umbrella, and then trying to give a brilliant solution for the people. And yeah, thank you. Thank you very much, Sunil sir and Sarma sir, and everyone followed me. Yeah. Actually, he said it is tough for me. It is not tough for me if I am seriously decided to appear here, because usually I take sleep around 3 to 4 hours at any point of time, and then again I'll work for some time, and then again I'll take a power nap. That is how actually I am researching on my sleep patterns. So thank you very much for giving this opportunity, and then I would like to come forward again and again as and when there is a need, and try to give some more actual spiritual wisdom capsules to understand the disease in a spiritual manner. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. It was really a wonderful session. And yeah, so I was also thinking about the spiritual tablets. What is this tablet? So yeah, and I have learned your courses as well. So it was really, and like what you could say, like you could correlate what the disease is and what it is, what needs to be done at your soul and intellect level. So that was a wonderful presentation, and it was really grateful to see you, sir, at this hour. So I have a question, sir. Is it okay to ask before
Yeah.
I open the
Yes.
form for our friends? So what is a causal body, sir?
Pardon? What is the?
Causal body?
Yeah. See, basically, the 5th, 6th, and 7th layers, we need to understand that in 5th level, it is complete energy that will operate Anandamaya Kosa, like the people who are staying in Himalayas and all. They do intense meditation. Through meditation, they will improve their internal energy. Through energy, the Anandamaya Kosa will operate. Coming to the Vishwamaya Kosa, it's all about the wisdom about the universe and the galaxies, the past, present, and future. We understand ourselves in a multidimensional way. So if we read the books, through books, we can understand the multidimensional nature of the soul, the causal body, supracausal body, and the nirvanic body. So nirvanic body is making ourselves complete. The ego should become zero, where we understand that we are operating as a soul, which is spread across the globe or or across the universe. That oneness concept. So here, when we say this 5th, 6th, and 7th layers, these 3 layers at one level, we have to understand as a complete energy being. We understand. That's why people will get that energy experience. Okay, casual body. And then supracausal is like understanding ourselves as one of the entity across the consciousness, the total consciousness. And then the nirvanic body, the final one, is removing all the physical layers, the ego layers or laziness layers, and we appear as a true being. So that's why these three we may not appreciate in a meditation experience, but we have to understand them as a knowledge factors. And once we reach that knowledge state, then automatically we start operating in those planes. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. So to follow up on it, like, so you said about ego. Can you just elaborate more on what is ego?
So teachings of Don Yuan, in his great narrations, he will give 4 obstacles of a warrior. It starts with the fear, the first one, and number 2, clarity or incomplete wisdom or the ego. And the third one is power, and the fourth one is laziness. So once we are out of the fear, then because we are fearless, definitely we acquire a lot of wisdom. When we acquire the wisdom itself will become a blockade. If we say that I am very clear, I am perfect, I am complete. Actually, at every point, there is something to learn as long as we are in this physical system, because the soul, the individual soul, operates as an incomplete speck. It came here to learn something. So instead of learning constantly, as we say, the rolling stone gathers no moss, because of that illusion, we feel that we are complete, and that ego operates as a layer which we cover on our body, and we feel that we are the only beings, and we don't cover the entire mineral kingdom, plant kingdom, animal kingdom that is operating. So when we are out of that oneness, out of that totality, then the individual self will, take some layers which we call it as incompleteness or clarity obstacle or ego layer. All these are one and the same. So this itself is a major obstacle. Whenever one will adopt the 11th hour openness, or always they need to open for the new possibility, then they can break that ego and they can come out of that shell. Of course, the constant meditation, initially, more than 50% of the solution is like a intense meditation. And above that, the day-to-day analysis, understanding the internal factors or thoughts, attitudes will automatically pull out the rest of the ego from us. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, sir. One more question, sir. So you're talking about our illness. We have to go and check in our soul and intellect level. Can you just explain about the spiritual intellect, what exactly it is?
So here, for example, if you take a thyroid problem is there, straight away I'll jump into your illness to understand very easily. Physically, of course, we know the thyroid gland is there. The malfunction will automatically, the thyroid profile will go in abnormal way, and they will get all the symptoms. When we start working with them with meditation, slowly we realize by a lot of listening about themselves and from the family members, and then their own experience patterns will give us an indication that at the thyroid level, first of all, one has to come out of all rubbish speech, the negative speech that they will do behind the screens or, whatever. If we observe that, we put them onto silence spiritual tablet. So they will have to go on a 40-day silence or 3-month silence. Then what happens is, during that silence, they will realize the value of the speech. So automatically all the unwanted speech will comes down. Similarly, for some people, if they are bound to do some spiritual science service by learning some wisdom and teaching wisdom to other people, that indulges in a lot of a positive balance. Okay, what you give, that you will receive. So we put them into knowledge plane as a teacher, spiritual teaching that may cleanse this Vishuddha. And at times they will start getting different spiritual experience, dreams related to film stars or some musicians come into the dreams. Then we have to understand that they need to work on that music area. Some people may have a serious passion from the childhood to learn music, but nobody influences them to understand why they had carrying the passion. So the Vishuddha is to sing. So they are supposed to learn music. And once they learn music, that will, the daily vibrant music automatically cleanses the Vishuddha, and they will be out of their thyroid problem. So at 5th level, coming out of the negative speech, adopting positive and miraculous speech, and learning music, and teaching the spiritual science wisdom to other people. That is what the throat is meant for, giving wisdom. So these are the 5 areas, and observing silence. So here, working on intellectual plane means exactly this is what. Once they work on the intellectual plane by all these means, the true meaning of life is happiness, and that will automatically set, and the Vishuddha block will be cleared, and sooner they will start getting the thyroid profiles in a normal. There are hundreds of cases so far we have treated. Usually the thyroid problem means for the lifetime they have to go for allotoxin medicine. But there are cases where they got a complete thyroid profiles normal once they are completely into music, if it is their purpose. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, sir. I would like to welcome Swarnalata Madam, our Secretary of IFSS.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you, Madam. Namaste. Yeah.
Namaste, sir. Nidzanga, we have to hear on and off.
Yes, madam.
And
Yeah.
spiritual tablets should be make a part and parcel of our spiritual academic science undi kada. That
Yes, madam.
that
Yeah.
education should be a subject. It should be. Then only future generations will be benefited. Thank
Yes,
you very
yes.
much.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for following. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you, Swarnalata Madam.
Thank
So we have a few questions here.
Yeah.
So a question from Vijay Master. So if after following all the wisdom tablets along with regular meditation, if somebody is not getting complete cure, what could be the reasons?
Yeah. See, basically, we try to give solutions in 4 levels. The first one, energy level, where the intense energy workouts will give them a clear relief. And then knowledge level, where they can understand the true purpose or their potential. And a majority of the spiritual tablets come in this knowledge level category. And then the third level is part of the game. Even after understanding the purpose, when we are operating here, there will be a constant pull and push from above and below. The guru will pull you to above. Guru means the higher wisdom person. And then people who are following you, depend on you, they will try to pull you down. So this pull and push, out of sacrifice, of course, we do. But still, because of this pull and push, there are certain illnesses, we can call it as part of the game. And the unlimited consciousness is entrapped in this physical system, in the layers, in the form of body, mind, intellect, even though we are true beings by consciousness. So that's why this limited area of operation with the body and mind, that is a reason, and then of course the pull and push from above and below may cause a certain illnesses. We call it as part of the game, and there may not be a permanent solution for it. It is part of the game. The name itself will says. So only thing is we need to understand, and if you witness in due course of time, this too will pass away. It will automatically go away. That is the only area. Whenever we apply all the tablets, they are bound to understand from past, present, and future the reason behind it, and they are bound to get the relief. If at all they are still there, means this is either the part of the game, and the fourth one is no mind, where we try to dissociate the connection between the mind and the body. Like the hypnotism, a simple word. Okay, whenever there is a chronic illness from the ages, after all the knowledge workouts, if they believe that there is nothing in my body and it is bound to happen, as you think it, so you are. So that's why the final is like applying that no mind lessons will automatically bring them a true health. So that's why it is like a 2 + 2 is equal to 4, like science. We are bound to get the result. If at all there is remnants, means either in the part of the game or the no mind, these are the only final solutions for that. Yes, thank you.
Thank you, sir. I would now invite Rajan sir, Chairman of IFSS.
Hello.
Yes, sir. Namaste, sir. Thank you.
Namaste, namaste. GK,
Namaste,
it is an
sir.
it is an honor for us to have you in our midst, because one is that your whole family, Appaji family, is fully involved in the PSSM. I know that right from day one. And moreover, you are the brand ambassador for the PSSM, now settled there in UK. I'm so glad. On behalf of the International Federation, I have to invite you, and really, I feel like honoring you with a salve or something. But because it's a Zoom session, I would say it was wonderful hearing you. And I recollect my wife very often used to share her experiences in Andamans when you were there. You were serving as a doctor those days. I think it's the year 2000 or so.
Yes, sir.
From then on, we have got a great regard for all members of your family, particularly you and Chandrasekhar and Vani and all of you. And today it was very fine hearing you. But I have, on behalf of the IFSS, I would like to raise some questions which are related to the extent of application of spiritual science or spiritual wisdom in the matter of treatment, medical treatment or physical treatment, whatever you call it, in the Western countries. Are they open to that? Are they ready to accept these sort of this wisdom, what we have got from Patriji?
Yes, sir.
Is there?
In the practical grounds, as of now, most of the Asians are taking this advantage. Frankly speaking, out of 199% are still Asians who are settled here. They easily take it. But to approach the Westerners, still the factor research is still there. I am trying to come out with some research presentations, like we are trying to bring out some case studies in a proper way, and then random control trials we are doing. And so once we come out with some research papers on whatever the extensive work we do, then definitely with that wisdom, and here there are certain courses like lifestyle medicine. I'm actually trying to go through it now. So those type of courses that are already prevailing here, once we have that qualification, with that we can combine this wisdom, whatever we have already achieved, and we can go forward. See, when I met Patriji, I asked Patriji that I want to do it as a research. So sir told me there are so many research papers already available. We need to work on the ground, and that will automatically speak. So the initial part of my journey, like 15 to 20 years, extensively I trialed nook and corner in villages and cities and Southeast Asia, and then I delivered, So we got very great results. But in the developed countries, it's not like that. We need to come up with a proper measurement. Okay, so without measuring something, they may not be in a position to accept it completely, especially the legal factors also will come into the picture. And the insurance is the biggest thing, if you ask me. That is also very, very important. First, we have to convince the insurance guys to, accept this, to pay something for this. So that is where the people are totally stuck, I can say. So accordingly, I am trying to change my orientation. Yes, sir. Thank you.
Okay, that's fine. But the next question I would like to ask is whether you think the government agencies or the government itself will be receptive to the idea of taking spirituality or meditation into schools or colleges or universities. Is it possible at some point of time?
200%, sir. That is what we are all born here. So every country, every government, and every person should accept this, because this is the absolute truth. It may take some time to convince them. We need to walk in their path for a period of time, and then we need to show the results. And for example, here in Manchester, one master is working with sound healing. Initially, he worked in Hong Kong for 10 years. And after that, he applied the UK government that he want to do sound healing. And for a period of 2 years, they gave some cases for him, and he worked on it. And then he showed the result. So the government gave him license to work with the sound healing. And he has a clinic in Manchester right away, working with the sound healing of the people. And day by day, he is flourishing because there are long waiting queues and a lot of money flowing in NHS to give the solutions. So the government is bound to accept these type of alternative methods, which cost zero and giving a brilliant solutions. But we have to do it in a scientific manner, and then we have to show them a proper results with a quality and quantity that we give with a proper measure. Then governments are bound to accept these things. Yeah.
I am asking this question particularly because we have an Indian at the head in the UK. Because our great respectable Rishi Sunak is there. So don't you think this is an appropriate time to approach the government on these lines? This I'm asking you as IFSS.
So the IFSS should conduct a national congress or a global congress in UK, and all
Wonderful.
the meeting proceedings, we take it forward to the government, whatever we do.
That-
I am
great.
200% available and ready to organize such kind of event in Europe, across Europe, anytime in the coming 5 years. Down the line, we can plan and do such things, sir.
That's
Yeah.
really great. We are looking for your support for doing something like that there. But again, one more question I would like to ask. Of course, this is also another challenge that we have, particularly because we are following the 18 principles enunciated by our great beloved Patriji. The aspect of food, how far you are able to impress upon them the need for sattvic food in your circumstances, in the society there. Because I have read many books, even by Westerners, including Swami Nirmalanandagiri, who was formerly, his name was Dr. Abbott, actually. But he has written a book in which he says diet is related to consciousness. So this has been accepted by many people and it's quite popular in the West. So whether it's possible to, are you able to make them understand that vegetarian food is more suitable for the human body than any food created by violence? So,
Yes, sir. The PSSM UK here across Europe, we are all trying to give that wisdom to everyone, understanding the value of a plant-based diet. And here the vegan diet is also very popular. So most of the people are turning into vegans day by day. So we are conducting the vegetarian rallies. We conducted recently in Glastonbury one vegetarian rally, the first vegetarian rally here. And then flash mobs, we are conducting a lot of information, a lot of sessions on vegetarianism. And very soon we are giving, I think the PSM UK is planning for a 21-day vegetarianism challenge related sessions. So all these education and of course the lifestyle medicine itself will always speak about the plant-based diet, importance of plant-based diet. So we are spreading that wisdom, importance through different means. But from the spiritual tablets perspective, by the time the PG comes to us, they will be already meditators and vegetarians. Okay, so almost we never work on vegetarian concept. Straight away we jump into their purpose and then understanding the higher realms of life. So that is where usually we work. But as a PSSM master, of course, I work on that plant-based diet promotion. Yes, yeah.
that's very good because from our experience, we have conducted so many sessions in the last 25 years. I think what you said is exactly, it's perfect. What you said is very correct because initially, if we just make them do meditation, that itself makes them take to sattvic diet. Do you agree with that? Gradually, they become vegetarians by themselves. The whole family becomes vegetarians because they have started taking to a spiritual path that itself leads them and makes them absolute, I should say, spiritual, absolutely. Am I correct?
Yes, sir. That's why. So we try to give them only the wisdom solutions in due course of time. Once they meditate, they
Yeah.
are bound to come out of that unscientific eating methods. Yeah.
So thank you, GK sir, for having raised us with your wisdom session today. Thank you, and we'll be looking for more opportunities. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Rajan sir. Sir, we have a couple more questions. Is it okay to take?
Yeah, I can take, yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you, sir. A question from JP Master. What is the importance of service in healing?
Yeah. See, according to 4 Veda Vakyas, the essence of Vedas is like the first one, Prajnana Brahma, the true wisdom is God. And then the second level, once we understand the wisdom, we understand that we are God, Aham Brahmasmi. From that level, we go to Sarvam Kalvidam Brahma, means everything around us is godliness. And then finally, Tattvamasi, I am that. I am everywhere. So in these 4 levels, after doing intense meditation and all the spiritual workout, we realize that we are God as a consciousness, ECW, energy, conscious wisdom. But whatever the consciousness that is there around us in specks like us, in the form of animal, in the form of human beings, and then the other beings, we need to understand that it is also godliness. So we have to extend our godliness from individual level to community level. Individual consciousness to group consciousness or into oneness. So this expansion happens only through service. So when we give the wisdom to other people, if we give the kindness to the animal, then we are connected to its core. If we are killing it, then we are away from it. And similarly, if we are making other people to understand the spiritual reality, and if they understand themselves that they are God, and there is a connection automatically established. Otherwise, the ego layers, all the unwanted rubbish layers will be there in between the people. So whatever we are doing in the name of service, in fact, we are not doing anything to other people. We are doing for ourselves to understand in a big picture as a oneness God. So this extension automatically improve our consciousness that will not allow certain alarms onto our body. So the diseases, like for example, if you take the neurological illness, we identified they are related to our internal power. Whatever the thought power we hold, whatever the money power we hold, all these things, they are supposed to spread into the community in the form of knowledge, in the form of facilities to the people as a service that we do, which the other consciousness is using. And that consciousness and we both are one and the same. So if it is not flowing, that the power is not flowing to the people in the form of wisdom, in the service, and the other I, which is part of us, is suffering, and the suffering, we take it as a disease. So that's why here, service is nothing but extending ourselves from the individual consciousness to group consciousness. And if we don't do it, that will come as a block on our physical plane, and we enjoy it as a disease on our body. Yeah. So that's why after reaching a point, the service becomes as a must factor to come out of the illness. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for sharing that. The next question is from Vikal Master about frozen shoulder. So doctor has advised for a shoulder joint replacement surgery, and they have stated that it is degenerated, severe joint degeneration reported in MRI. So any inputs on this?
So when you say that degeneration word, as a medical doctor, I can understand from where you are coming, doctors maybe. And when we go to the intense workout on the shoulder, like I said earlier, the give and take principles, understanding the purpose, there are cases where we got a miraculous result, exceptionally, in few cases. But one thing is for sure, once you realize the knowledge principles and work in an eminent manner, we are bound to get the symptom-free phase. I may not give you guarantee in the live that the degeneration cells will become completely generate. There are cases of course, because I work with myasthenia gravis and I work with certain neurological disorders where today they become normal. So that's why if you work properly with the wisdom principles in and around the give and take, and if you download the Spiritual Tablets app, there you will find the 3 types of services lesson, and then the true difficulties lesson as a pocket book, and then the true service is also there. These are the 3 books which will work in and around the shoulder, projection shoulder area. And once you complete those books and Patriji Yoga Parampara concept also, so these concepts will give you a clear picture how badly we are using our shoulder in intellectual plane, what we are supposed to give and take, and how we are away from the original, line of travel. And once we realize it, then definitely you are bound to come out of the symptoms which are causing you the pain and the restriction of the movement. And coming to the pathological changes in the cellular level about the degeneration, I need to work with them as an individual case in one-on-one. Then we can be a best solution from the knowledge point of view. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Considering the time factor, so I'll ask as one last question, sir. So one of the master's relations are suffering with bloating problems. So what needs to be done, like from intellectual level? Yeah.
Yeah. So it's about working on the Manipura chakra, fire element, the power. So one has to understand, what are the powers they have, and the minor Arshad Varga factors they need to understand. So I suggest them the book Bhavana Shakti in Telugu. It is where one can understand all the positive factors that they're supposed to implement in day-to-day life: concentration, memory, self-confidence, self-esteem, compassion, love, kindness. So these are all the different factors which we are supposed to apply in day-to-day life to learn something actively with our intent. See, we are giving food for the body. Similarly, the situations and the lessons are for the soul. If we have those positive factors, positive qualities, then we try to go through different situations in life and we try to learn something. Like giving something food for the body is nothing but giving the situations and the learnings for the soul. These are the 2 areas we need to understand, go in parallel way. If they're unable to give a proper situations as a feed for the soul to learn, then they are bound to get the problems with the stomach area as well as the esophagus area. So, and I suggest to take a one-on-one guidance by approaching the spiritualtablets.com website, or you can download the Android app Spiritual Tablets, and then there through that you can track. Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much for the time and your enlightening us about the spiritual tablets and the concept. A disease would rise not only from a physical level, but soul and intellectual level. We have to work on it. So that was really a wonderful opportunity for us to learn about it, sir. Thank you so much. And thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you all. And I'm very happy to be a part of IFSS. As long as, to fulfill the Patriji dream and all our dream, definitely in the Western countries, we try to take it for as long. Here in the European countries, definitely we can conduct programs like we did in India, the National Congress we can do, and then it will take forward this movement. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you all.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much, sir. On behalf of IFSS and PSSM Global, I extend my heartfelt gratitude. Despite in the VR, you have taken the effort and extended your wholeheartedness to come and give your session. There are more questions in the chat. We will definitely get back to. Sir has already shared the WhatsApp number. People can directly get in touch. And as Sir mentioned about Spiritual Tablet website, please do so. And any specific question, we will also get in touch with sir and answer them in the WhatsApp group. So with all that, let's end day 7 session today. Thank you so much. See you all tomorrow at 5:45 a.m. IST with yet another beautiful topic and yet another beautiful day. Until then, thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you. Record.